Hello everyone, my name is Paul and I'm making this video specifically for newer players or those on the lower end of the skill spectrum who are looking to enhance their fundamentals and core understanding of the game. In this video, we'll cover the mindset you need to bring into games, the key concepts, the timings and tempos, the basics of constructing a solid deck, and what to do in Age 1. We won't delve into micro or hotkeys this time. Those will be saved for another video. If you're an experienced player and already familiar with what I'll be discussing, I urge you to share this video with newer players you encounter. The game can be challenging to get into, and we've all been there. The more people we can help learn, the better. For this video, the focus will be on Age 1, as this is where I see 90% of newer players losing the game. First, it's essential to understand that Age of Empires 3 is as much a race as it is a strategy game. Speed is crucial, and the first common mistake new players make is waiting to train their first villager. Ideally, you should be collecting your food crates while constantly hitting the villager button on your town center. If you're training settlers in the first 6 to 9 seconds of the game, you're doing well. Anything slower than 10 seconds is too slow. Some newer players wait as long as 30 seconds or even a minute to start training, which is detrimental. The faster you get your first villager out, the sooner they can collect resources for you, increasing your resources over the course of the game. This also allows you to train your second villager faster, continuing the cycle. If your opponent starts training their first villager 20 seconds before you, their economy will be ahead of yours by 20 seconds for the rest of the game, which can be critical. For newer players, a huge tip is to go through the UI settings and turn on the game timer. This will help you understand whether you're playing slow, fast, or somewhere in between. You'll gain insights into how much you and your opponent can accomplish within the same time frames, allowing you to start measuring the game in terms of time. This simple adjustment will help you immensely. Regarding training villagers quickly, Tip 2 is to avoid having your town center do nothing, known as an idle TC. Aim to continually produce settlers to boost your economy until you've maxed out your settlers and the game won't let you make any more. If you aren't training villagers, then you should be advancing to the next stage. Although I said I wouldn't discuss hotkeys, I'll make an exception here. One of the simplest ways to improve your gameplay and consistently produce settlers is to set up a hotkey for your town center and memorize the hotkey for creating a villager. I use T for the town center and Q for the villager, as it aligns well with my finger positioning on the keyboard. I've reached a point where it's almost automatic. My muscle memory kicks in, and I train more settlers just by hitting T, and then Q a couple of times. Having more settlers will significantly boost your economy, and developing the habit of always making more settlers is a fundamental skill. On that note, the Ottoman civilization trains villagers automatically without you needing to click anything, as long as there's population space. I highly recommend avoiding playing the Ottomans until you're more experienced, as it may hinder your growth as a player by not developing the muscle memory for producing settlers. Tip 3 is crucial. Avoid making mills or farms as much as possible. Farms and mills collect resources much slower than natural resources. This also applies to estates. Compared to coin mines, natural resources, especially when combined with the gathering increasing techs available at the market, can be gathered over twice as fast as mills. For example, 10 villagers on deer can gather food faster than 20 villagers on a farm. Additionally, you don't need to spend 400 to 600 wood on it. Many new players make farms early and stay in their base, but the goal should be to exhaust as many hunts as you can safely before considering mills. If a hunt is dangerous, build a barracks or an outpost to protect your villagers. An outpost is cheaper and quicker to build than a mill. This is why map control is vital. If you control the map and force your opponent to stay inside their base, they will have to switch to mills because they can't reach distant hunts. Meanwhile, your settlers can freely gather natural resources from the map, which is more efficient and effective. This explains why building a forward base is popular and why turtling is challenging. It's also worth noting that food is the fastest gathering resource, and wood is the slowest. Berry bushes gather at the same rate as mills, so exhaust any berried bushes in your base before making the mill. While berried bushes should generally be avoided, they can provide a decent food source if you're under pressure and can't leave your base. Now, let's discuss the basics of deck building. Often, I find newer players with decks that look impressive, but are inefficient. They might think that filling their deck with upgrades, units, and gather rates is beneficial. However, such a deck can lead to defeat. The primary issue is that they put too many cards in Age 1. Cards in later ages become progressively more valuable. Age 1 cards are generally valued at around 300 resources, Age 2 shipments at 700, Age 3 at 1,000, and Age 4 at 1,600. Your deck should have the most shipments in the age where you spend the most time. Age 1 should contain only essential cards and be minimized to save more cards for Ages 2 and 3. Age 4 should also be minimized, as shipments arrive slower by then, and you may not get to send all your cards. Ensure most of your shipments are in Ages 2 and 3, where most of the game takes place. Civilizations with factory shipments should include those in Age 4. These shipments should take up most, if not all, of your Age 4 slots. If you can have 2 factories in your deck, include them both. Another common mistake is not having unit or crate shipments or having only these. While having only units and crates is better than having none, you need a mix. You need small unit shipments to boost your military or defend against attacks, upgrades to improve your army quality, and crates to boost your economy. Balance is key in your decks. A better deck example shows only 2 shipments in Age 1 and 4 in Age 4, with most shipments in Ages 2 and 3. This example uses the British civilization, like the previous example of a bad deck I showed. Now, which card should you send first? The answer is simple. Most civilizations have a 3-settler card in Age 1. This should be your first shipment for 90% of civs in 95% of games. Some players use the infinite 2-villager card. Avoid this. An infinite card should be valuable enough to send again. By the time your second card arrives, you should be in Age 2, where you can send 5 settlers instead of 2. Over 2 shipments, you get 8 settlers compared to 4 if you send the infinite card twice. If your civilization lacks a 3-settler card, your first shipment should be economy-based to keep up with others. Avoid shipments like furrier or exotic cardwoods unless you're playing treaty. For India, your first shipment is usually distributivism, and the same goes for Russia. For Italy, it might be capitalism. Portugal players have more variety, often starting with economic theory, schooners, or advanced trading posts. Japan's first card is typically Heavenly Economy for a shrine buff. The key theme is that your first card should enhance your economy. Finally, what should you do in Age 1? The goal is to get out of Age 1 as quickly as possible. Everything you do in Age 1 should aim to get you to Age 2 faster and with a stable economy. Ideally, you want to start aging up within 2 minutes and 45 seconds to 3 minutes and 30 seconds of starting the game. 2:45 is very fast, and 3:30 is slower but acceptable. Some civilizations age faster than others, but this is a good general target. To achieve this, you should collect all your crates, cue your villagers, and set everyone to gather food. Build a house and maybe chop some wood for a trade post or market. After these secondary objectives, focus solely on food. Keep queuing villagers, send your first shipment, and age up as soon as you can without significant idle time. For most civilizations, this means you'll have 14 to 16 villagers when you click up to Age 2, having trained 5 to 6 villagers in Ship 3. Some civilizations age up faster with fewer villagers for rush strategies, but that's a topic for another time. Until you develop the muscle memory for constant villager production, avoid these fast strategies. Reaching Age 2 quickly allows you to start military production sooner, enabling you to attack or defend earlier. This also means you'll get to Age 3 faster, where you can start producing cannons. Age of Empires is a race as much as a strategy game. For example, if India does a fast age up and starts aging at 2 minutes and 15 seconds, it can have 12 sepoy at your base by 4 minutes and 30 seconds. If you age up slowly, you'll be vulnerable. Early aging with enough villagers ensures you can defend and progress quickly. Now, let's recap the most important takeaways from this video for you to be a better Age of Empires player. Number 1. Constantly produce villagers. This advice might seem repetitive or overly emphasized, but it is crucial. If you are continuously creating villagers while your opponent is, you'll fall behind economically, making it very challenging to stay competitive. The only acceptable time to halt villager production is when you're defending a push or rush and need to save resources for extra units. Number 2. Aim to reach Age 2 by around 5 minutes. This means you should be advancing by approximately 3 minutes and 30 seconds. While some civilizations have different timings and might advance earlier, the general goal is to be in the second age by 5 minutes. This timing helps you handle incoming rushes and receive your shipments faster. It's a solid target for beginners, as it's neither too fast nor too slow. Number 3. Choose a strategy at the start of the game. You don't need an extremely specific plan, but you should have a general goal in mind, whether it's a fast fortress, a semi-fast fortress, a fast industrial, or some form of economic boom. Consider your card order and adjust your strategy based on your opponent's civilization. Number 4. Practice and refine your build order. Select a build order and practice it repeatedly until you master the timings and intricacies. Focus on polishing one build order rather than trying many. Consistent practice will help you fine-tune your strategy. Number 5. Review your recorded games. Although time-consuming, reviewing your games is one of the best ways to identify and correct mistakes. This self-analysis is essential for improvement. These are the 5 fundamental principles for learning or returning to the game. Now, the next 5 tips are for those who already have a basic understanding and wish to improve further. Number 1. Start using hotkeys. While not essential, using hotkeys can significantly improve your efficiency. Hotkeys allow you to perform actions quickly without needing to look at your keyboard or UI, enabling you to multitask effectively. Number 2. Utilize control groups. Control groups are crucial for multitasking, allowing you to navigate the map quickly and manage multiple attacks or raids simultaneously. This skill is essential for higher-level play. Number 3. Scout and adapt to your opponent. Always scout your opponent to understand their strategy and react appropriately. While having your own strategy is important, being able to adapt based on your opponent's actions is crucial. Number 4. Watch streams and tournament games. Observing top players and tournament matches can provide new insights and ideas. You can learn advanced strategies and see how different matchups play out, enhancing your understanding of the game. Number 5. Diversify your civilization pool. Once you have the basics down and are improving your mechanics, try playing different civilizations. This experience helps you understand various matchups from both perspectives and improves your ability to counter different strategies. Starting with the 5 basic tips and incorporating the next 5 advanced strategies will prepare you to climb the ladder and improve your gameplay. Thank you for watching. Veteran players, please share this video with anyone struggling or new to the game. By learning these core skills, we can create a community where everyone enjoys and excels in the game. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel. Have a great day.